Alright, today is Tuesday, July 14th, and it's museum day, which is super awesome and exciting. I'm about to go pick up my friend Mary, and we're gonna head to Bowers Museum in Santa Ana. We're working on a short film together, and we're going just to get a little inspiration. And also just in general, I've been wanting to go to a museum for a while, so I think it's gonna be super fun. And whatever my favorite art piece is at the museum, I will be recreating. And that'll be kind of the bulk of this video. But I'm gonna head over right now and hoping for a fun day at the museum. Bowers Museum.
Yippee, yippee, yippee,
Yippee yay.
yippee.
We're here. We're gonna explore a little bit. I don't know what the rules are as far as filming goes, but I'm too scared to film in public anyways. So I'm just probably gonna like take pictures of things we look at and we can like talk about it after. Or I might say a couple things.
I'll film secretly, so
Yeah.
that'll be good.
Yeah. But we're gonna head inside. We're listening to Phantom Thread.
We're getting in the zone. We're locked in.
Very in the zone. We're in the mission room of sorts. Lots of cool like old California pieces. Really, really cool. We were just in a watercolor room that had a lot of cool stuff that was very inspiring. So that's a cool touch. Alright, just got back from the museum. Pretty cool stuff, pretty good time. I'm still not sure which thing I want to recreate. I really like a lot of the watercolor stuff, and I feel like that would be pretty simple to do. In this one gallery, they had a lot of old Chinese work, and they had like different bowls. And there was this one that was like a bowl, and it had little ants that were like crawling up the side of it. I thought that was really cool. I don't know how I would go about doing that, but I think it would be interesting. There was also one section that was on the ceiling, and it was like all these old paintings of kind of like the history of California that I thought was really, really cool. There was also a lot of cool jewelry in one section, and I don't know, there's a lot of options. I'm gonna have to go through like all the pictures and videos that I took and see what I want to create. But once I do figure out what I want to recreate, I will let you guys know, and I'll kind of put together a plan of action for how I'm gonna do it. Okay, I've been thinking long and hard about what I wanted to recreate from the museum. I finally landed on a decision. In like the quilt exhibit that they had, there was this really cool quilt that was like split into a bunch of different like squares. Each square had a different little like picture inside of it. It was kind of just like a little caricature picture. And then in the bottom right, it had just like a mini little poem kind of like describing like whose quilt it was. And I thought that was really cool because like each picture had something to do with like, I think it was like a mom who created it for their child, and it had like little pieces of like their family and like parts of like where they lived and kind of like their culture at the time. And I just found that super fascinating. So I wanted to do that myself. So I went to Michael's and I got a big poster board. There's also some really nice light coming out of the front door right now. But I got a poster board, and I don't think it would be possible for me to do an actual quilt just because I don't really know how to sew like that, or how to like, you know, like put the needle in the thread and whatever. So I'm just gonna draw one, but kind of like along the same lines of what the other one was. And the other one was done in red, but my favorite color is purple. So I also got these markers, and one of them is a purple one. So I'm gonna do the same thing, divide this into a bunch of squares, different picture in each square, and then in the bottom right one I'll do like a little poem of sorts, or maybe I'll find like a song lyric or something. And I'm gonna sketch it out with pencil first, and then I'll go over it with the marker. I'll section it off, and then I just need to decide what is gonna go into each of the squares. Okay, it took me like 30 minutes, but I got all the boxes in. I got 12 of them here. I need to figure out what's gonna go in each of these. I'm gonna do some research on that and probably just like put together like a little Pinterest board or something and kind of collect imagery and whatnot. Okay, I've collected all the different designs that I'm gonna use for this. This is a picture that I took, and then I just photoshopped a little Kirby onto the chair. This is from The Backseat Lovers. There's a lyric from one of my favorite songs of all time, Hell No by The Slaps. And so this is the lyric that I'm gonna use for the bottom right. This is just one of my favorite things ever. I really like raccoons, and you know, he's just rocking out and having a good time. This is my favorite movie of all time. And I really like this poster because that's the main character, and there's like the period from the end of the movie titles like falling onto him. So I'm gonna do kind of like a sketch version of that. This is one of my favorite poems of all time. And there's this guy on Instagram called Star Park Designs, and he did this art piece for it. So I'm gonna try to recreate something like that. I gotta put my boy Snoopy on there, and there's one of my favorite Snoopy pictures, so I'm gonna use that one. I have the 4 Led Zeppelin logos because they're also one of my favorite bands. So I'm gonna throw those on one of them. And then these are the Terrapins from a Grateful Dead song called Terrapin Station. I wanted to do something cat related, and this is one of my favorite cat pictures of all time. This is the robot from Castle in the Sky, which is like one of my favorite animated movies of all time. I might not do this exact picture, but just something to do with like cameras. But that's all of them. That's all 12 of the boxes. I'll try to figure out like what order I want to do, or like the placement of all of them. But I'm gonna start penciling these in, and then once I finish, I'll go in with the marker. All right, it's the next day, but all my little sections are finished, and I'm feeling pretty good about these. For my Slaps box, I added in 2 little hands from their album Mud Glimmer, and then I added in this little guy sitting under the tree from their album Tomato Tree. I like my little raccoon guy. I added like music notes just to like fill in the space. I don't know how I feel about that, and I had a lot of fun with this one. And then part of the poem is, if it's like a 2-headed cow, they see twice the amount of stars in the sky. So I added some stars, and I just like doubled up all of them for that. And I like how this guy turned out. I added some like clouds in the sky, and I added just some like grass to the floor. And I see a little cat, add a little heart above him. And then this is a Kirby. I added some Kirby stars in the back. Snoopy came out well. And then this is what I did for that movie poster. But overall, feeling pretty good. I'm gonna get started on outlining these in purple. Okay, I just finished these bottom 3 ones, and I'm a little bit concerned about the markers that I bought because they're a lot thicker than I thought they would be. And these ones are like not super detailed, but for some of the other stuff, I might need something thinner. So I'm gonna look for a different purple pen. Okay, it is a new day, but last night off camera, I did my Snoopy and my Kirby. And I did these with like the bigger markers. But there were a couple like smaller details that I kind of waited on just because the marker was like pretty thick and kind of like bleeds once you put it down. But I found this purple pen that I totally forgot I had. I used that to kind of like do these smaller details just now, and it fits pretty well. For all the rest of these, and I did this one too. For all the rest of these, just because there's a little more detail and I'm scared about the marker like bleeding through stuff, I think I'm just gonna use the pen for everything. And hopefully if I like stay consistent with these ones, then it shouldn't look too crazy. So I'm gonna ditch the marker and just use the pen now. Okay, so technically my little collage board is finished, and I was kind of waiting to figure out what I wanted to do with the area in between all these, or like the borders of them. But then I realized, and I know this doesn't really like go with kind of my recreation of that quilt, but I was thinking I could cut all of these out individually and just like have kind of individual like cards of all these cool things that I like. And so I went to Michael's and I got a hole puncher, I got some twine, I got some thumbtacks, and I'm thinking I can cut these out individually, I can punch holes in like the top, run the twine through them, and kind of make like a little string of all of them to like, I don't know, like put up on one of these walls or something. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. And I know technically that isn't what like the recreation of the quilt is, but I feel like this was enough, and I don't really want to use like the entire poster board on one wall. I want to kind of be able to do something cool and creative with it. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I have all of them cut out, and I have all the holes punched into the corners so I can put them up. But I'm gonna be 100% honest when I say that I'm not the biggest fan of all of these. Like, if I'm actually putting these up as a decoration in my room, I don't think I'm gonna use all of them. So I'm gonna kind of like pick and choose the ones that I like. Like, I think this one came out really well. This one I really like. These two I'll definitely use. This one is just like, that's like a maybe. I'll think about that one. This one I really like. I like the cat, but I just like, I don't think I want that up. So I'm probably gonna say no to that. This one just like didn't come out that well. That one's just like whatever. I think I'm probably gonna not do those. I liked the idea of the Kirby. Didn't really come out that well, so I think I'm okay without that. I do really like these ones though. I think all of these ones are just the ones that I'm gonna keep. I mean, I feel like 6 is enough. I think I'm fine without this guy. So I think I'm just gonna keep these ones and put them up on my wall right now. And that'll be the end of this craft. Pretty freaking sweet, if you ask me. I know this is kind of like not the like, I didn't really like recreate something from the, I kind of did it. I really like the idea of the quilt just because it was like, you know, like highlighting like these small pieces of like somebody's life from so long ago. And I just thought that it was a really cool thing. And I'm glad that that is what I chose to recreate, because it kind of let me like take a moment to think about the things that I like in my own life and things that, you know, inspire me and that I really enjoy. And so even though it didn't turn out exactly like what I kind of planned, I think that it was definitely a good experience, a good little craft just to keep me busy. But yeah, that's the end of this one. Glad that I went to the museum. Definitely got me thinking more about art and its impact, and so I'm really happy that I did that, and I now feel more motivated to go to more museums. So yeah, that's the end of this one. That is 5 items done and 5 more on the way very soon.